Hey guys, it's Sadie and welcome to another vlog. It has been so long and I'd like to welcome you back to my new home. I know it's been a while, but I'm back. I'm doing the thing. Today is Friday. It is a work day. I've just been busy doing some house chores as you would have seen before. I've just been catching up on some washing, been making the beds. I also had to file all my taxes. I lodge them manually each week through my accountant called Henry. Been in complete survival mode this year with everything in terms of like moving. So I haven't been lodging them week to week. So I decided to do the end of financial year thing and I lodged it all at once, which means that I'll be lumped with a big tax bill, unfortunately. Normally with my accountant, like if you do it as you go, you can pay your taxes as you go and then you're not lumped with a massive tax bill. Yeah, that sucks, but it's done. I just feel like, whew, stress off my shoulders. I just had some lunch before, which was really good. I had a plant-based chicken wrap. Now I'm just about to start packing my bag and just making sure that I've got everything that I need for work tonight. I'm going to be doing is it a 2 or 3 hour toppy booking, which is a private, and it's up on the sunny coast, so I have charged extra travel and I don't have anything planned afterwards just because it is so far away and I just don't know what the traffic's going to be like coming back to the Gold Coast. But if I could get something later, that would be ideal. I'm doing 8 till 10 and it's going to be, oh yeah, it is 2 hours. So I'm doing 8 till 10 and then I've added on an extra 200 for travel because it is so far away. So yeah, it should be a good booking. Fingers crossed that they upgrade and extend us. I look like an absolute gremlin right now because I've been getting all the chores done. Don't you worry, I will be all good to go and catfishing galore like by the time I leave the house. I think Ginger's working tonight too. Oh yeah, total update, you guys. Ginger's living with me. So yeah, she moved back to Queensland and she is staying with me. We don't know how long for, but it's been amazing so far. So yeah, she's living with me and my little poochies, which has been freaking great. Yes, love that for us. So yeah, I think she's going to work tonight as well. And then, yeah, I've got work. So I've got to walk the dogs and get everything ready with them, get set, and yeah, get ready to leave the house basically. But yeah, I will let you guys go and I'll catch up with you guys when I'm ready to go. Morning guys, it is the next day and it is almost 2 p.m. It is so beautiful outside and I have been in bed all day looking like a complete gremlin. I've literally just showered and brushed my teeth. Like I got up at like maybe 9 a.m. and I think Ginger was still asleep. We both got in around the same time last night, this morning I should say. So we're both absolutely wrecked, as you can imagine. I think she's gone to the farmer's market, I'm not sure. Just literally re-emerged. Like I got up at like 9 to feed the dogs and do their medication and all that stuff, take my medication, and then I kind of just like conked back asleep. I was so tired. So I ran late to the booking last night. Actually I left early, but there was multiple accidents on the motorway, like so insane. There was like 3 or 4 accidents on the motorway. Ambulances just kept passing me. I was like, it's okay though, like I'm still on time. And then literally it just came to an absolute standstill, like off the gateway going up to the Sunshine Coast. So yeah, it was just like, oh, what am I gonna do? So I ended up calling the client because I was like, I could just see it like getting worse and worse. And every time I kept saying, do you want to take this route because it's a quicker route? There would be like another roadblock or like bad traffic ahead, and it just kept coming up like a big red line on my GPS. And I'm like, oh, this is a nightmare. So I ended up just calling the client. He was so chill. He was like, get here when you get here. Don't speed. Like he was just so lovely. But yes, I had a really good night. I'm just going to go grab my money. Good babies. Just gave the little puppies a little treat. Just real quick. Odie is so cute. Isn't he not the cutest when he eats his food? Look how he holds his little, look how he holds it with his hands, with his little, well, paws, I should say. He's so cute. That's better. So I got there around 8:30. I was supposed to start at 8. Client was so chill. I got out the front and I could tell it was like a really nice Airbnb, parked my car in, called the client off a private number when I got there. And I could hear like all this carrying on when I got in, and the other girls already arrived. So they had it so that they booked us staggered. So she was starting earlier and then I was starting later, so that when she finished, I was starting, if that makes sense. So yeah, it was a boys' night. I thought it was a bucks party, and I got there and they said, no, it's a boys' night. We do this annual trip. They were like friends from primary school, high school, work. One of them said he was new to the group and he's been coming 3 years in a row. So they've been doing it for much longer than that. So I think it was around 6 or 7 years they've been doing it for. And they were just so wholesome. They were well mannered. The guy who booked came down and greeted me so politely. He was like, stay there, there's a bathroom. The other girls put her things in there. Let me go grab your cash for you. Is there anything that you want the boys to know that, you know, they're not allowed to do? Like, if you want me to relay any messages. It was just like the perfect booking, and not many clients do that. They're just normally like, yeah, come on in, here's your money, go. And yeah, they're just like, sometimes they turn out to be little shits. Out you go do wee-wees. So yeah, ended up being really good. And yeah, we were like all talking, and then all of a sudden like Metallica came on, and I was like, oh my God, Metallica. And they're like, she knows Sandman from Metallica. I'm like, who doesn't? Like, I was just like, come on. Like, and I was like, I'm a metal girly. And they were just like, she likes metal. And then they were like, oh. So apparently they were playing R&B and like techno when I got there, because they thought that we liked R&B and techno. And I was like, no, like I love heavy metal. I love punk. I love emo. So then they were getting so excited. They were like arguing over the playlist and the Spotify account, and it was just hilarious. What are you doing in Ginger's room? Otis, he's being super nosy right now. Look, he's in her he's in her room, like he's like sussing out her stuff. He goes in there all the time. It's really funny. Me and Ginger will be talking and we're like, what are you doing? And he'll be like, oh, they've caught me. It's so funny. And then he'll like prance out. Sorry, back to the story. Yeah, so they got really excited that I was there, and then, yeah, like we were just like all vibing. They'd had a Polaroid camera, so they were taking photos of each other and they were getting me to take photos of them. The main guy who booked was just like, everyone loves you. I think you've got a bit of a lineup with lap dancers. So like, would you like to do lappies? And I was like, yeah. And normally like people pay for their own, like they normally just have like their own little money stash. But I think he had just organized the whole thing, and he's so used to like taking control of the booking and organizing the Airbnb. And so he was like dishing out the money for everyone. Like it was like, here's money for you, here's money for you. So he was just like, here, do you want to take him? Here, do you want to take him? And it was like no one that I didn't want to take, because they were all so well behaved and just like super wholesome and lovely, great manners. Like this never happens. Like usually there's always one that is just rude or drunk or just off their head and being silly. Or pushing boundaries or taking photos. And it was just not like that. It was so great the whole evening. I was just like, my mind is blown. So yeah, it was just really great booking all round. They asked me if I wanted to stay another hour and I was like, I agreed. We played, that's right. We played this game and I thought they were going to say, let's play Rage Cage or beer pong. And they were like, have you played Flip Cup before? And I'm like, yeah, all the time. And they were like, okay, it's a bit like Flip Cup, but it's not. And they put this masking tape on the middle of the dining table and it looks like noughts and crosses. So you put in the middle, there's like a cup with like, say tequila or vodka or whatever, and you've got to flip your cup. Like you're flipping your cup at the same time and say, I'm on this side of the table, so I want to get my cup to that side. And then this person on this side their goal is to get it to the other side of the noughts and crosses, has to reach the very end. And whoever is next to them like loses and they have to do a shot. But yeah, it was just the funnest game and it's so fast paced and I really liked it. And I was like, oh my God, this is such a genius idea. I'm going to bring masking tape to all my bookings now because it's such a fun party game and I've never played it before. Yeah, it was like such a fun game. So like they had like, it was like noughts and crosses, but more squares. So, and like each person so you could have more than 4 players, I think. You could definitely have like, you didn't have to be in one specific row. You just had to get the cup in the middle. And so like I'd flip my cup and it'd land like that and I'm like, okay, I can move it. And I go to move it and literally someone seconds later would like flip theirs and they'd move it back. So I'm like, fuck. So I'm like, I've got to get it across the border. Like it was just so intense and like high energy. And I was like, I've never played this at work before. It was just so good. It was nice to learn something new. It was really fun. And then they asked me to stay another hour and I was like, amazing. So I was really trying to like push them to upgrade me to nude for the next hours for more money, but they just said we'd rather keep that money for dances. And I'm like, okay, fair enough. So we did that. And then yeah, they extended me another hour. And so I extended 3 hours. The other girl had been longer and she left when I basically started. So I was there for like half an hour and then she finished. So I ended up extending for 3 hours and then I did 5 dances. It was insane. It felt like they went on for so long because I was doing back-to-back dances in the last hour. Like I finished a dance and then they'd go upstairs and then another guy he'd be like, do you want to take him downstairs? And I'm like, it just kept going. And then the best part was that they're like, after this guy, when you come out, can you turn left and go into that bottom living room area and just like come meet us and come sit down with us? And I'm like, okay, what's going on? And then we go downstairs and I was like, okay, and we're finishing up the dance and he's like complimenting me, saying how nice my teeth are and how pretty I am. And I'm just like, oh, thank you, that's so nice. Like they're fake, but you know, that's really lovely. So we finished up and then we go into the next room like I got told to. And when the main guy who organized it goes to the other guy that I was doing a dance for, sit down on that chair there, like as if a showgirl's coming or something, like they're about to like do something to him. And I'm like, oh, is there a showgirl coming? Like, I didn't know you guys booked a showgirl. And it wasn't. It was the main booker and he just starts stripping off. I fucking died. Everyone was like, yeah! It was the most hilarious thing I've ever seen in my life. And he had practiced. You could tell this man had I said, you're really good at that. And he's like, I've been practicing that for weeks. And I was like, I could tell like he was trying so hard in his choreography and he did a backflip and then he was doing like the caterpillar and shit. It was hilarious. Like it was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. Most wholesome group that I've had in a while. And they asked me to come back next year. So that was a huge compliment on my behalf. So I'm very, 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 very happy. Although it was a 2-hour and 10-minute drive home. So I didn't get in until quarter to four in the morning. I was exhausted. And then I think Ginger got in around maybe 4:30 or 5. Scared the shit out of me. She came in so quietly and I was like walking around and then I was like, and then we were like exchanging like our stories for the night. So I'm still like up in the air about money counts, but if you get the gist, I did really well last night. I had like a mini goal and once I surpassed that, I wanted to get my medium goal because I do have another booking tonight with Scarlett, so I know that will make me hit my maxi goal. But yeah, like that was my medium goal and I hit it, and I was like, yes, so good. Even though I had to pay commissions to the agent for staying back, yeah, so good. Like I still did really well, which was great because I have baby girl's vet appointment coming up. She's getting old. She has a few cancerous looking lumps on her belly that we get monitored. Ultrasounds are not cheap through the vets, so the one I go to, it's probably the most affordable one that I've gone around to a few specialists and checked it out, and yeah, it's like to the tune of $600-700 every time, because they have to put her like under. She's an older dog, so she requires a little bit more attention. She's knocked out all day for it, so it's just to make sure none of the lumps are spreading or getting any larger. And they're also going to remove a lump from her leg while she's out to it. So I have that coming up and a few other big bills, so that will help out so much. So happy. But yeah, that was my night last night. So it's 2 p.m. now. I've got to meet Scarlett at her house to pick her up for our boat job at 5:30, I think, because we're going to try and get in early because apparently there's a festival going on down at the spit at Main Beach. So we want to try to avoid the traffic going in. So I might try and leave here around like 4:45 or something. I'll probably start getting ready for work soon. I just have to have something to eat. Like I've only had medication and I've had Hydrolite and that's it. So yeah, I need something to eat. I'm feeling a bit nasally in here. Like I'm feeling really congested, which is not great. I'm trying to avoid getting sick because I don't know if you guys were following along a while ago or if you follow me on Instagram, but I had pneumonia like a couple of months ago when I first moved in here, and it was really intense and I ended up taking myself to hospital. It was so bad. So I'll do anything at all costs to like just not get sick. But yeah, come along with me today. I'm gonna have some lunch. I gotta walk the dogs. I gotta do a little house tidy, and then I'm gonna go pick up Scarlett and we will be heading to our boat job. Hey guys, it is now 5:10. I'm just on my way to go collect Scarlett now. Yeah, my makeup turned out pretty good. This is not the best lighting right now in the car, but turned out pretty good. I'm wearing a different foundation. I normally wear like this new one that I got. Yeah, lately I've been wearing this clean one from Rimmel, which is just like a little tube. It's a tinted moisturizer. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, what the fuck, Sadie? Why would you wear tinted moisturizer to work? Because it's not long lasting. But keep in mind, I only work 2 to 3 hour bookings unless they extend us slots, which is kind of like not very often for me, apart from last night. But I'm just finding that I'm wearing a lot of heavy makeup lately, and because I am getting older, I'm getting lots of fine lines around my eyes here. You can see it in the sunlight, like I'm aging, you know. I'm in my 30s, so the makeup that I'm wearing, it sets in quite thickly when you wear like really heavy makeup, and as the night goes on, like it sits under my eyes and it makes my fine lines a little bit more obvious than what I would like, whereas the tinted moisturizer does not. So yeah, that is why I went to tinted moisturizer, and I just wear like a really thick setting powder and that does the job. Tonight I'm wearing the other foundation because it is a little bit more tanned and I wanted to look a little bit more glowy this evening. But yeah, that is the go. Hopefully this sits nice and doesn't create any lines under my eyes tonight. I'm working on a boat for 3 hours with my bestie Scarlett, and yeah, we're both just doing topless waitressing on a yacht that we work on all the time. It's not a very big yacht, kind of a small one, but we work on it quite often and we know the staff on there, so we always feel safe. If the guys are playing up, they look out for us really well, so that's good. You can see in this light, like, looks really nice, looking cute. I really need to do my regrowth. Doing my, like a balayage, like I've been doing my regrowth like dark and like dragging it out sort of like mid-lengths, and then just letting my blonde hair grow out kind of thing. Just because the maintenance on my hair has just become too expensive. I can't afford it right now. I love going to my hairdresser Cal, and I miss her so fucking much, and she's just opened up at a new salon, which I'm devoed that I haven't even come to see it yet. I miss getting my blonde foils and my hair extensions, but I can't afford it right now. Soon though, I will be able to afford it, but yeah. For now, I'm just being budget conscious and being a little bit more smart. That's what's been happening. I think it's a good thing though, because obviously I'm like letting my roots breathe as well, and like not bleaching them constantly and not drying out my hair and damaging it, so it's good. Yeah, I'll get back to the blonde that I once was. Just for now, I'm just doing the balayage look though. So yeah, Ginger got home just before and had a little snacky snack. I did my makeup. Gave the dogs a little nosh for dinner and some snacks before I left. She starts till later at the club, so she'll be with the doggies for a little bit, which is nice. Packed my bag. I've got a lingerie set, but I also bought a captivating bikini set, which is bright blue. One of my subscribers bought it for me on OF, which is really nice. So yeah, I might wear that with a G-string underneath because it's just topless, and the bottom bit to that bikini is a little bit see-through. So yeah, we'll see how we go. It depends on the vibe. I'll have to see what Scarlett's wearing, and just so that we're like matching. Usually I always go to that trusty bras and things set, the black one with my thigh-high stockings. So that will be the go, I think. Yeah, I've got my jumper in case it gets a little bit cold later, because we're going to be out on the water, and usually when I get back in I always feel chilly, so I always make sure I have a jumper with me. And I do have some track pants later on if I want to put those on in the car for the drive home, because I live about 40 minutes away from the boat ramp. So yeah, so that is what's happening. I'm on my way now. I'm going to go pick up Scarlett, and I'll see you guys all very soon. Guys, it is now the next day. It is Sunday. I'm so sorry I didn't keep you in the loop. It was a really hectic night, and I was just so tired by the end of it all. I was just like, my brain can't compute. So I think where I left off with you guys last was we were heading into work. I went and picked up Scarlett. We went and stopped off at the servo so I could fill up fuel. And she wanted to grab some water bottles and some snacks, and then we chucked the GPS on to double check to see if we were going to get to the boat on time, like, or at least like a little bit early, just because the festival is on this weekend. I can't remember what it was called. There was one for Listen Out, and then there was another one that went for 3 days. It was in the same area as where we were hopping on the boat, which is on the same road, so that can get quite chaotic if there's a festival going on. So usually if there is, we try and leave a lot earlier. So we did end up getting there on time. When we arrived, the gates to the marina were shut, and we could see a big group of guys all wearing white with kind of like those Vistaprint shirts with like the Bucks face printed on it, saying so-and-so's Bucks party. And we were like, oh, I'm pretty sure that's them. We called the staff, and then they let us in, went down to the boat, and there was a hens party hopping off. It was all hopping in. And yeah, like we were just like, we're gonna make money, we're gonna manifest this. Wow, there's really just something in my eye. We're like, we're gonna make money, we're gonna manifest this. And then all of a sudden we could hear the guys hopping on, and we could hear that they were like really drunk. Scarlett went out there and she just said, hey, like, just wondering who's in charge. And the guys were like, oh, I'm in charge, like some of the older guys being idiots. And she was like, okay, well, who would like to pay? And they were like, oh no, not us. I was like, okay, who made the booking? And they're like, oh, that guy over there. So they went and grabbed the guy who made the booking. We took him down to there's like a little bedroom on that bottom floor of the boat, and we were like, hey, so we just need to grab this much up front. Because we could hear how drunk they were, we thought we're gonna try and just relay the rules right now, just so that it's out in the open. We're like, no unwanted touching. That means like no touching without our permission. No phones or videos. If we see anyone doing any of these things, like we'll give you a couple warnings, obviously, but like if you guys keep pushing our boundaries, we're going to tell the captain to pull the boat over. That means you guys will be heading back onto the wharf with no money, no refund from the boat or us. And, you know, it's just not going to be a fun time. We don't want to do that. You know, the boat staff don't want to have to do that because it's like such a hoff just to turn everything around. We have to like unpack everything and set everything up again. So like just behave and be good guys and we'll have a good time. And he's like, yeah, all good. Soon as I walked out there, I think someone slapped or tried to touch Scarlett's bum, and it was one of the old guys, and I went straight up to him and I said, please don't do that. We just told you guys all the rules. We're only going to give you a few warnings, and if you guys keep playing up, we're going to ask the boat staff to turn the boat around. You guys will have to hop off. You won't get a refund. We told the main guy, he pulled everyone up, and then yeah, I think just after there things just kept escalating. We were trying to make things run smoothly, getting drinks. We were like avoiding people who looked like they had sticky fingers. Sticky fingers are like people who like to touch or grab things without asking. So I just avoided those people, or I'd sat up the top with the captain. There was a few guys sitting up there also, but they were behaving themselves. And then there was a few guys around the front of the boat. So I was going around the front and I was kind of hoping I'd be able to just chill out and sit on the front of the boat like I have previously on other bookings. But they were kind of like, as soon as I went out there, they were like, oh, Sadie, can you get us some drinks? And I'm just like, oh, damn. So like I went out there only just have to go back straight back downstairs where the sticky finger guys were. And they were all hovering around the eskies. Like that seemed to be the thing. And I feel like they were doing that on purpose because they knew that's where we were having to bend over to get drinks so they could watch or like try and attempt to touch our bums or whatever while we're doing it. This is driving me nuts. There is literally like an eyelash or something in my eye, or it's probably just a piece of fluff, or it's probably dog hair. Love that for me. I can't get it. Anyone else who has dogs or cats like just get fluff all the time in their lashes, comment below. So yeah, that was what was happening. They were good for a bit and then it started happening again. It was in particularly like the older gentlemen that were playing up and kept trying to touch my boobs, and I'd swat them away like in a playful way, but then towards the end I had to get quite serious and be like, can you please stop it? You guys are pushing our boundaries. And I just went straight up to the captain and I just said, look, we've told the guys off like multiple times. It's getting really full on now. It's not just like the same people, it's like different people doing it, younger and older now. And they said, yeah, we're prepared to pull the boat over, because they also told them that they couldn't smoke on the boat. They said you can vape, but you have to vape outside. Cannot light a cigarette on a boat. There is fuel involved. And he was like, can you not smoke on the boat? And they continued to push his boundaries. And he said even like one of the guys was smoking down the side of the boat, and he was like, I'm sitting right here, like I'm the captain, I'm sitting right here and I can see you. And yeah, he told him off and he was like blowing it in his face. So he was just like, I'm ready to, yeah, turn the boat around. He was like, I'm ready for an early evening. Like, you know, he was like, I'm not bothered. Yeah, it's just annoying because like there was still money to be made, and ended up talking to the organizer because he seemed to be the only one with his head switched on. And we were like, hey, can you just stop the music and pull the guys over and like tell them what the go is? This is their last and final warning. Like they're on their last straw. Otherwise the captain of the boat is going to pull it over. Like, and we've told him like what's going on, and that, yeah, it's just like a no-go basically. Like, you guys are pushing boundaries too much. No one's listening. No one's obeying the rules. No one's respecting us. And like, there was just alcohol everywhere. I think there was a point where like I kept bending over to get drinks and stuff, and someone like kept flicking like the beer at me, like pouring it on their hands and going like that at me at the back. And then I'd turn around and they'd all be giggling. And I'm like, who's doing that? And they're like, no one. We don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like, oh, it was just so annoying and really childish. I did find out from some of the really young guys on the boat that they went out the night before to a bar, and they went to the strip club beforehand, and then they went to a nightclub afterwards, and the older guys were harassing the bar staff saying, when are you going to get your tits out and stuff, and the girls were like, we're not, like, this isn't a strip club, and they ended up getting kicked out of the nightclub. So it was inevitable. I feel like they were behaving like that whole weekend, so it wasn't just us. So it did make me feel better that we were being so firm, like, and like we weren't trying to be negative Nancy's, like we just wanted to have a good time too, like, but yeah, they just kept pushing our boundaries. We ended up being able to push through after that. Everyone was behaving. We put on John Farnham, You're the Voice, and me and Scarlett, like, you know, did our thing where we like get up and we sing, and we put our arms around the bark, and then everyone got involved singing on the back of the boats. And we put on Tribute from Tenacious D, which is hilarious, which is like our all-time fave. It's how we end the evening every time we work together. Usually all the guys know the words. Sometimes on the really, really, really odd occasion, people don't know the words, but most Bucks parties know the words to that song, and it is just such a ripper. Anyway, so that was the evening. We ended up upgrading to nude for the last hour. The organizer felt so bad for the guys misbehaving the whole evening, so he paid for us to upgrade to nude. So we got extra money on the last hour, and then we were doing motorboats, like a 2 for deal. Like if you pay for 2, this is how much we'll charge. And it was like a sandwich motorboat. So that seemed to be selling really well. So we did okay. Wasn't like the best booking. Like we didn't, you know, make it like a bucket of money like I did on Friday, but it was okay for what it was. Like we made extra cash. So I ended up I didn't make my maxi goal, but I ended up getting pretty close to it. Let's look around because this is a bit dodgy doing this in the car park. But yeah, I did really good this weekend. That feels so thick. It feels so nice when it's really thick. But I did really good this weekend. I have a ton of bills coming up. Yeah, I'm also looking potentially soon at buying another property. I think in one of my other vlogs, I may have mentioned that I was in a really long-term relationship. In that relationship, both of us went and bought a house. And yeah, basically because my name was on the title, no longer want to make mortgage repayments. I want to be taken off the title, and that's kind of in the works of being cleared soon. So I'll be off the title soon. That also means that he had to buy me out because he's staying in the property. He's not selling, so I don't get 50-50, but he is staying at the property. So that means he does have to buy me out a certain portion of what the value of the home is. It's not a lot, but I do get some money from the house, which is fair because obviously I lived there for a really long time. I lived there for almost 9 years, and I did contribute towards the deposit. Yeah, like we went 50-50 on all the bills. I did a lot of the renovations. Yeah, so and obviously I was paying mortgage repayments every week as well. So I didn't just live there scot-free. Like I worked really, really hard to get that house with my previous relationship. And yeah, so it's nice. When I'm off the title of this house, I'll be looking at buying another property. So I'm just really trying to work as hard as I can while I can when the opportunity is there. So if the money is presenting itself, I'm not going to turn it down. I'm going to work really hard, provided that the clients aren't pushing boundaries and that they're doing the right thing. So yeah, I'm trying really hard. I do have a lot of bills coming up. I want to try and ultimately be debt free before applying for another property. That's kind of like the first initial steps that they tell you to take, is to get as debt free as possible. Any credit cards, loans, zip pay, afterpay, whatever you've got, just cut it down. Car loans, like if you can try and minimize that. If not, you know, it's there. It is what it is. So yeah, I really want to try and do that as much as possible and start looking at potentially buying a house and talking to my accountant about, yeah, getting a property. I'm doing all the things right now. I'm really trying to set myself up for my future, because I kind of wish that was something that I did while I was in a relationship, and I left that relationship with no emergency fund, like nothing but the things on my back and my 2 small dogs. And I just really wish that I had, you know, set myself up a little bit better. So that is what I'm doing right now. I'm working really hard, and yeah, it's been a wild ride. But yeah, that was my weekend. But yeah, thank you so much for coming along with me on this vlog. It's been a long time since I've vlogged, so I really appreciate any support that you guys send my way. Until next time, please like and subscribe. If you haven't already, please leave a comment below. And yeah, I will see you guys all in the next vlog. Bye.